Hello everybody and welcome back to the Burrow. So today I'm finally going to get to do my first DIY in a while. I've been dying to do this. I've seen several of the channels already do this and I just wanted to give it a try. And although they've already done it, that doesn't stop me from making a video on it and just show you my process in doing it and how much I mess up or how actually good I do. We'll have to see that. What we're going to do is we're going to be making vines. I'm going to be making both thicker vines, different widths here, and I'm also going to be making vines out of string. I'm going to try two different types. What you're going to need for this is fairly simple. You're going to need some burlap, a pair of scissors to cut the burlap into strips. You're going to want it in different widths and different lengths because vines don't all come the same, obviously. You're going to want silicone. The silicone I'm using is a black silicone. And what you need, you don't have to get the aquarium stuff like a lot of people say. What you have to check first and make sure it doesn't say mildew resistant. If it says mildew resistant on there, there's usually pesticides, that kind of stuff in it. You don't want that. 100% silicone, which this is that's what you want. Once this dries, it's perfectly fine for your animals. Now, the other thing you're going to want is gloves, because it does get messy, obviously. And a bucket of dirt, whatever substrate you want to use. Cocoa fiber is fine. I'm using my peat moss that I prefer. It's very dry stuff. It works really well for this. I hope this will be my first attempt at this. So let me get these out of the way. And what's really neat is these are actually from Christmas. I got them really cheap because I was on clearance, and you're not going to see that anyway, so what's the matter? Let's start with this strip here. Now for these thick strips, what you're supposed to do, make sure you put paper down, cover the table, wear clothes that don't matter, that kind of thing. This gets messy. What you're supposed to do is lay a thick bead of silicone basically down the middle. There we go. Like that. Now I like to set this on the plate so that it doesn't drip and make a mess everywhere. Now what you're going to do is you want to start twisting it. And the silicone's going to come out through all of the holes and it makes the vine, supposedly. It seems to be working. Just twist it like this. And as you're running it, you're running the silicone down the cord that you're making. You want to keep twisting it, keep it kind of tight. This stuff smells pretty bad, so ventilation is a must if you can't take it. There we go. Oh. Definitely want gloves. Wow, look at that. Should be able to keep this tight. You see, it kind of does already look like a vine. All the little pieces sticking out. It looks pretty good. Now, this might be a little too thick, and that's why it's coming apart a little too much. If I keep it twisted, it should work. Now, I use a bucket, and I use this substrate for a bunch of different DIY projects. I keep it separate from anything I'm going to be using for my animals. Don't throw this stuff back in, nothing like that. Sure, keep spinning it. Keep it twisted tight. Don't just run it through, push it on, make sure the stuff sticks. Keep twisting it, make sure it's tight. Go. Put it back in there, make sure I got a bunch of stuck to everything. Now if you don't think it's covered enough, you could add more silicone to the outside and it will just adhere more to it. But as you can see, that looks a lot like a vine. I'm sorry, I took that out of the way. Look at that. Looks like a pretty thick vine, doesn't it? Now you set that aside, let that dry. Now we're going to try to do a smaller one. Let's see if that works a little bit better. You want different sizes. So go ahead and put a little bit of silicone here. I'll try to put less on this one. You're definitely going to want to watch how you cut the end. I cut it so it's got a big thick opening. You might be able to see because it's all black. But it may be better to cut it with a little bit thinner opening. Let's try this with a smaller one. Just start twisting it up. You see, you can make a bunch of these vines fairly quickly. And they work for anything from frogs, reptiles, some of the tarantula, boreal enclosures may look pretty cool with some vines. Oh, making such a mess though. Like this one dries up, it should just peel right off of the Tupperware tub that I have this in. Just keep it tight twisted. And see, now you have what looks very much like a small vine. You see all the little hairs and things come off it. You said you can make different sizes, obviously. I let these sit around dry for several days before I use them in any enclosure with any animals. It says it takes about a day or so for the silicone to dry. Leave it for longer than that. Now this is the other thing I want to try. I want to try to make stuff with this string. Sorry. So I'll take just a bunch of it out, however long you want to try to make it with. Cut it. Now how I'm going to try and do this, I've never seen this done before. At least not like this. So I'm going to try this for the first time, my own little idea. I'm just going to put a glob on my plate. Fresh silicone. And then I'm going to run my string through it, basically. My other hand there so that it doesn't just pull globs of it, because the string will just start pulling giant chunks, I would assume. There we go. Of course it's starting to knot up. There we go. So just run it through my fingers. Getting a bunch of silicone on the whole string. There we go. Boy, this stuff smells. Now, take the dirt again and just put it in. Hopefully it doesn't stick too much to itself. Bury it. Now let's see how well that worked. I still see some silicone, so I want to make sure I coat everything. And now here's just a small string of vine. Now what I plan to do with this is once everything dries, you can take your bigger vine like this and start wrapping it around here. And then once you got it around some of your vine, you can take it and wrap it over around a different vine. And so you have these thin strands running around between your other vines, holding them together and giving them form. And it just gives it a little bit more texture, especially if you take a spot and you just wrap it around a bunch and then go over. It just gives it a thicker look. So this is some stuff I'm going to be trying with enclosures later. Like I said though, make sure you give this, there's my phone, a good week. Make sure you give this about a week to dry. I just don't risk it. Make sure there's no smell to it. All the fume is gone before you put any animals, or this in with any animals. Because it will be in a small enclosure, not a whole lot of airflow through in those, and you just don't want that stuck with them. And just check it out. See, I see somewhere I got a little bit of color in, so I can take a little bit of this here, put it on, and then I'll dip it more into the, there we go. And I'll just continue making these, and then when they're done and they're dry, I'll put them inside of those plastic Ziploc bags I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'll just have them sitting around for when I need them. Well, they're all done now. They're still going to take probably, like I said, I'm going to leave them about a week to dry. I have them all different sizes. I have 3 different of the strings, different lengths. I didn't use the white string because these just already came out exactly how I wanted to with this. And so I didn't bother with that one. And now all this cost me less than $10, and I have enough supplies left to make a ton more of this. The burlap cost me $2 for a yard. Silicone cost me $3 for a tube I've barely used any of. This is from the dollar store. Even the scissors that I used are from the dollar store. Everything here would cost less than $10. The substrate I already have. I got $10 for a huge amount that I probably won't use for years. So, I mean, even the gloves that I got, these are only from the dollar store. So, you can make stuff that looks really, really nice, really, really cheap. It was very easy to do, and I just anybody that has a terrarium, if it's spiders, frogs, reptiles, whatever, to go ahead and give this a try. It's a lot of fun to do, but it is a huge mess. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider clicking the like button. It really does help when you do that. If you're new here, consider clicking the subscribe button. Now, if you really like this channel, you like what I'm doing, and you want to see more of it, consider supporting this channel by clicking on my Patreon link in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching.